So many people are on here, and astrologers and stuff, saying that the moon does not like being in Capricorn because it's not exalted, because it's in detriment, right? I know if you don't speak astrology you don't know what the fuck that means, but it's basically there's different points in the constellations at the moon and the different astral bodies and planets that they thrive in because they have all the same powers of it. And last night's full moon in Capricorn, people are saying moon doesn't like being here. But there's one astrologer that I agree with him. He says, I'm not going to assume to know what the moon likes and what she doesn't like. And just that little message alone was such a fucking impactful message, because that is the message of this full moon and this upcoming, well, current actually retrograde season. Because this retrograde season right now, it's one that happens every single year, and it's like a 5-month season. We've got Uranus just moved into Gemini, which is making a lot of kind of like internal masks slip away, and this internal conflict and battle, which is being very much mirrored on the outside with all of the issues that we have in the world right now. But the internal battles and conflicts of who we are and who we believe to be are kind of like, they're taking arms. There's like a little civil war going on inside of ourselves. So that's number one. You might have noticed, like last week, some people that you thought you knew all of a sudden they're showing like versions of themselves that you're like, who the hell are you? Like, I thought you left that version of you in the past. You told me you healed this. They didn't. They didn't heal it. Not completely. It's showing up. Number two, Neptune, the planet that represents all of the themes of in our unconscious and subconscious that are unseen, like the spiritual climate, not just internally but externally. It's the planet that's furthest away from the earth, that still represents our own personality. It still represents kind of like the way that we move in the world, but the unseen ways that we do it. That one retrograde. And that happens every year. And every time that does happen, we end up having like the wool removed from our eyes. We end up having the rose-colored lenses removed. And right now it's in Aries. Last year it was exalted, so in its happy place in Pisces. So there's like all these divine interventions that were like, oh, this feels better. Like first it felt kind of like jarring last summer. But then it was like, okay, things feel like they're going to get better. But right now it's in Aries. And Neptune in Aries is like, pouring water on a blazing fire. And so it's like in this boiling point, this pressure point. And as these rose-colored lenses are being pulled off of our eyes, we're also going like looking at our own selves and going, oh shit, like I saw myself differently as well. I saw the world differently. I saw my inner authority differently. Shit, when they say question authority, think for yourself and question authority, that also means like questioning your inner authority, which there's some signs and some people, some demographics that we're kind of used to doing that all the time. I'm talking about women. And then there's other demographics and other signs that aren't good at doing that. I'm talking about men. And they are really having to face themselves, look in the mirror, not just see the actions that they do, but also have to look at the impact, the unseen impact that they're having on the world around them. They can't have the wool over their eyes. They can't have the rose-colored lenses anymore on their own personalities. And it's shaking them to the core. Then on the 12th or the 13th, we're going to have Saturn, our task keeper, our boundary keeper, our time keeper, our karma keeper, also going into retrograde. Once again, these planets do this once a year, always for 5 to 6 months, always at this time of year. And with Saturn doing that, last year Saturn happened first and then Neptune. This year it's Neptune first and then Saturn, which is really cool. It's also in Aries, and it is telling us like, okay, now that you've figured out like the ways that you've allowed yourself to cross over your own boundaries and other people's boundaries, now you're going to have to learn other ways to like maintain them. But in the meantime, just in case you can't figure it out on your own, I'm going to give you the boundaries through karmic consequences or karmic lessons. We're being held accountable. I know I'm going to piss off a lot of men here. Women have been holding ourselves accountable for thousands of years because our lives were threatened, our sovereignty was threatened, our ability to speak up was either non-existent or threatened. And so we were constantly learning how to internalize our accountability. And now that we have a little bit more freedom, we're being told we can't be held accountable when we're like, no, we're just not being held accountable for your actions and for your reactions. Like, we're allowing ourselves to be responsive and reactive. Whereas men are finally learning what that actually means. And it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And I know that there's a lot of women out there that are not at all compassionate and understanding that this is going to be a lot of work for men. I am very compassionate about it. I understand that the amount of internal work and shadow work and looking in the mirror that needs to be done in order for this season to pass without like severe karmic lessons. It's hard. And it's actually the first time, I'm not offering it here on TikTok, but it's the first time that for some of my clients, for the men, I'm like, I'm not going to charge you the typical fee for readings and work with me. I'm going to give you a donation basis, but it needs to be within like this thing. I've never done that in my life. I've never put anything on sale like that, and especially for men. Why? Because men tend to give more to what they invest more into, more of their time, more of their energy, more of their money. And then at the end of the month, we're going to also have Mercury in retrograde. Don't worry, Mercury retrograde is actually going to help this. It's going to slow things down. It's going to slow down not only your own ability to communicate, because it's going to be in Leo, but it's also going to be slowing down other people's ability to communicate and make deals and contracts and stuff. And it's just going to like, it's saying like, I'm going to pull back that momentum because with all of this other energy going on, you might fuck this up. So let's stop, internalize, and use this time for manifestation. Why? Because we've got the Lionsgate portal coming up. We've got the Lionsgate portal coming up, and it is one of the most powerful manifestation times of the year. I've used it for the last 3 years to create like lasting change in my life. And last year I learned how to make it sustainable. This year it's like I'm looking at how to optimize all of the different energies, including there's like a grand air trine happening, that there's going to be a lot of justice and balance brought, and having to like look at my own impact on the world, having to see the authority in my own self that I need to question. And so when Mercury goes in retrograde, that's going to be 3.5 weeks. It's a little bit of a long one, but it's like really a great time for us to internalize and say, I don't need to start any new projects right now. I can just go off of the old dreams and the old projects, because the Neptune and Aries, the Neptune and Saturn in Aries is encouraging us to say, hey, what are all those dreams that you used to have before the trauma, before the people told you that you can't, before you told yourself that you can't, that you don't, that you won't. And then the last and final one, our lovely Chiron, the wounded healer, will also be going into retrograde. Yep, on the 30th, very end of the month. And that is an opportunity. It's always an opportunity. Synchronicity is never just by chance. It's never random. It's always an opportunity for us to look within and say, what do I need to heal? All of these planets, all these 4 astral bodies going into a retrograde while Uranus is in Gemini is an opportunity for us to say, what do I still need to heal so that the version of me that I'm bringing into my new reality, my new paradigm, isn't holding the veils of disillusionment that are like webs, cobwebs holding me back between the people that we spend our time with, between the version of ourselves that we spend our time with, between the activities, the projects, the pastimes, and the mental habits that we spend our time with. It's about subscribing into the new future that you want for yourself. So enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. And be easy and compassionate on yourself and others. Forgive. Don't forget. This full moon in Capricorn was all about bringing everything full circle for the last 6 months so that you can just let go and let your emotions finally flow. All right. Love you guys.